To give our second of our two protagonists today is the president and co-founder of Listener Driven Radio. Are you ready, Michael? Daniel Anstandig.
Thank you. Thanks, Kurt. Thanks very much. All right. Thank you. Well, hi, my name is Daniel Anstandig with Listener Driven Radio. Just as we get started, I just want to thank Kurt and Jennifer Lane for putting this together. Really am excited to see the evolution of digital over the years, and every year this room seems to get bigger and bigger. I remember, when there were just modest groups getting together to talk about internet radio, and it wasn't that long ago. So it's really exciting to see internet radio evolve and to see more enthusiasm about digital. At Listener Driven Radio, our company is really focused on the evolution of the matchmaking between digital media and radio. And I'd like to give you an update today on our two products, LDR1 and LDR Takeover. So for those of you who are not familiar with us, LDR1 is a program that lets listeners interact with a radio station in real time and choose the music that's going to play on the air. Our two products, LDR1 and LDR Takeover, are now on the air at about 100 different radio stations and networks around the world. And we're working in all different kinds of formats and all different kinds of market sizes. So LDR software empowers listeners to become real-time collaborators. Listeners can vote through their web browser, through their iPad, through their mobile devices. And at Listener Driven Radio, we ask ourselves the question every day, what can we do for our affiliates that helps them create ratings, revenue, and web traffic? And so the way that our software works, we always focus on ratings, revenue, and web traffic as metrics that measure our success. So the way that our program works, the program director sets the rules, the audience calls the shots. And by giving listeners some equity, we've seen that we've really been able to create great PPM numbers and really incite great web traffic for our affiliates. LDR ties right into your radio station studio software, whether you're using RCS or Music Master, whether you're on Enco or Wide Orbit or any other major automation system like NextGen. And because we tie right into the automation systems and the studio software that you already use, that makes installation super easy. So the radio stations that work with us on LDR1 let listeners pick songs here and there through the day. Listeners can select different songs that play on these radio stations. Again, all different kinds of formats and all different kinds of markets. And that's, right now, we've really seen growth with listeners participating around the world. We reach about 30 million listeners in an average week, and about 500,000 come back and vote more than 3 times in an average week on LDR. We also have stations that use our program LDR Takeover, and that's where the audience takes total control over a whole day part or a whole hour on a radio station. Stations like 101.9 The Mix here in Chicago use LDR Takeover to turn over control to the audience at night. So between 8 p.m. and midnight tonight on 101.9 FM here in Chicago, you can hear the audience taking over the radio station. Same in St. Louis on the Arch. Air One is one of our clients that works with us. It's a national Christian rock network that has us on over 200 of their stations. So LDR can be customized to work any way you want it, and whether you want to let listeners vote on a song each hour or whether you want them to take over your whole day part, LDR will conform to whatever you want as a programmer or as a manager. And you never have to brand it as LDR either. You can call it whatever you want, and all of our clients do brand it to their brand however they like. So we know that PPM in particular is driven by QM and repeated tune-ins. So I'll share with you some of the things that we've learned about driving tune-ins back to radio and growing QM. So first of all, we've invested heavily and continue to invest in Facebook interaction. We've seen that for every one person that posts a message on their Facebook page about a radio station, about 4 people come back to that radio station site. We've also invested heavily in other social media interaction, everything from Facebook to LinkedIn, even MySpace, Google+, Tumblr, StumbleUpon, Dig. We believe in Facebook as a way to generate traffic for radio station sites, and we've been able to make that work successfully. We also have a dedication feature that we've added. And with dedications, listeners can invite a friend to come vote on a radio station site, send a dedication or song to them on their Facebook page. And then when they make a dedication, it goes on their friend's Facebook page, that's my sister, and also to a DJ in the studio, if there is one, to read the message on the air. We also do a ton with Twitter, and when you start voting sessions at LDR, we'll post a message on our Twitter account and on the station's Twitter account to try to drive traffic back to the radio station site. We've really seen this work effectively, and we believe that radio stations that engage in Twitter and specifically call out specific artists can really incite great traffic. We've had artists that have retweeted LDR voting sessions and invited their fans to go vote on radio station websites. Just in the last month, we had Bryan Adams, Joan Jett, Rihanna, and that's pretty cool for website traffic. We've been able to send thousands of people back to radio station websites. In addition to that, going back to tune-ins, we've seen that when listeners can sign up for alerts to find out when their favorite songs are going to play, that drives tune-ins and time spent listening back on a radio station stream on the air or online. So our listeners can sign up for alerts by instant message, email, or text message and get an alert whenever their favorite song is going to play. They can upload their own music. One of the key things that we've learned is that everything we do has to embed right into a radio station website. So we never direct anybody off to a separate page or to a separate site. And that's what I would encourage you to do if you're working with any vendor like Listener Driven Radio, or if you're creating your own app or your own system, to definitely make sure that it lives on your station site and not try to direct people off to 100 different places. We have a team of 13 people now at Listener Driven Radio. We've been growing, and of course, because we focus on ratings, revenue, and web traffic, we have 3 different levels of support. We have programming support, sales support, and engineering support. Our engineering support and web support is some of the best in the business. We work directly with our radio stations to get everybody set up on the platform and to make sure that everything's plugged into their studio system seamlessly and quickly. Our programming support will also write imaging and liners for you. That's what they really look like. They'll write imaging and liners for you, and they'll make sure that it sounds good on the air. And our sales support. Make sure that you're able to monetize the platform and that you're able to immediately make money from using LDR in your local market. So in summary, we've got the nurses, the ninjas, and the nerds standing by at Listener Driven Radio to help you to grow your ratings, revenue, and web traffic. We're here to create results for radio stations. So thank you very much for this opportunity to share LDR and some of the latest at our company with you. I'm Daniel Landstandig and hope to work with you soon. Thank you.